So I decided to try something a little bit different today. Basically, I'm painting and I just wanted to share with you a story of how I drove a random man's car at midnight, and hopefully it's going to give you some kind of insight or lessons I learned from it about trusting life, trusting yourself, not doing stupid things. And also, you guys have actually been asking for the videos of me painting, and honestly, I'm still working on this. Okay, it takes me weeks, sometimes months to complete paintings. I'm working on one more there, it's like purple. I'm working on a lot of things, okay? So it takes me a while to finish this, but I'm painting and I felt inspired to share this story with you because I feel like I don't really want to keep talking about my traumas anymore, but I want to share with you things I've learned during my life. And even though I'm young, I've done some pretty crazy things, like driving a random crackhead's car in the middle of the night by myself in an area I don't know well at all because I didn't. The point of the story, no spoilers, okay? So basically, we're gonna hope this works. So basically what happened was, at that time, this was a few years back, I actually was staying at hotels in Connecticut. I was living in Connecticut, and I met this guy online that I, by the way, didn't know him at all. And I met him online during one of the challenges that I was doing for self-development. And this guy decided to book me a ticket to come see him, to come visit. And so I said, okay, sure. So we talked on the phone once. By the way, he did not look like nothing like his pictures when I went to see him. So anyways, as I'm getting ready to fly, that specific night, the night before my flight, I ended up staying at a different area in Connecticut. Never been to that area before. And it was just because there was a mix-up with hotels, like the last night, somehow I couldn't book anything close to me. And so as I'm staying in this hotel in an area I don't know well at all, getting ready for my flight the next morning, doing my lash extensions, which by the way, I was doing them one at a time. So I had one eye full of lash extensions, the other were not, by the way, so I looked ridiculous, okay? This is gonna be a point to this later. I realized that my phone's actually low on battery and I cannot find my charger. So what I did was I said, okay, I should go buy a charger because I have a flight early next morning. And so as I go looking for the next CVS or pharmacy, whatever next to me, it's a 40-minute walk and it's 9 p.m. And I'm like, shit, which by the way, looking at this now, I should have totally asked for a concierge for a charger, but I didn't. So anyways, I set on memorizing my directions, which by the way, I did not memorize them correctly. And so I started walking to the next CVS, and it was a 40-minute walk, and it's not New York, okay? In New York, you have your streets, you have your blocks, you can kind of figure out your way. Here, I could not, because it was Connecticut, it was like, I don't know. So I'm walking, and this random guy, this black guy, pulls up next to me, which by the way, I have one eyes with lash extensions, the other one not, so I look crazy as is. He pulls up next to me, he's like, do you need a ride? I'm like, no, thank you. He still says, are you sure? I'm like, no, I'm good. The next thing he does, he sits on the passenger seat. I don't know how he got there that fast. But anyways, so he gets on the passenger seat. I hope that this audio is okay. If not, oh wow, I guess I'll have to redo it. So anyways, he gets on the passenger seat and I look over and he's like, I will let you drive. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, if you let me drive, I said sure, because I didn't know where I was going. It's 9 p.m., 40-minute walk. I'm like, shit, okay. Thankfully, he actually knew directions. And he let me drive, and he's like, oh, you're driving like a grandma. I'm like, no, we're good. He's like, let me drive, which, by the way, the classical trick, right? I was like, I don't know this guy. I'm like, no, either I drive or I walk. And which, by the way, this sassy me, because I didn't know where I was walking, where I was. My phone is dead, okay? Like, come on. The fact that I'm still alive on this earth today is a miracle. All right, so anyways, I'm driving. He actually gets me to the CVS because he knew the directions and he offered to wait for me. I said, okay, sure. So I ended up buying a charger and I bought a battery for my phone because I was like, what if I have to, like the portable battery, just in case I have to charge it, in case the guy is gone, because I was like, I don't know where I am. Like, I'm like 40 minutes away from my hotel. I have the flight the next morning. Anyway, so I come out already with my phone charger. He's still waiting for me, which by the way, he thought I was cute. I had like imagine this eye has extensions, this eye does not, like I look ridiculous. Anyway, so he thought I was cute. Turns out he's actually a crackhead because as we're driving back, he pulls out a pipe, he takes a pump, and this time I let him drive me back because again, and so as he's driving me back, he's like, he pulls out a pump and he offers me some, and I'm like, no, thank you. And then he goes, are you sure you should try it? And he's pretty persistent. And I'm like, nah, I'm good, And he goes like, oh, but you should try it, like, you know. And I'm like, I don't know, I'll think about it, maybe take me back. And he goes like, it got to the point where I said, either you take me back or like I'm off the car, like I'm gonna walk. So I told him like, I'm getting off the car or you take me back, like I'm not, you know. Anyway, so I don't know how he actually drove me back. And I said to him, if you drive me back, I'll think about it and I will try it once you drive me back. I think that's what I said to him. I said, I will try it once you drive me back. So he drives me back, and, you know, of course I didn't try it. I was like, I changed my mind. But the funny thing is, like, we literally exchanged Facebooks. He took my Facebook, which of course I didn't know, okay? Like, I was so green with these things. I was like, I don't know, you're not supposed to talk to crackheads in the middle of the night. So we exchanged Facebook contacts, and I still have him on my Facebook, by the way, and we never spoke again. But the point of this story is two things, okay? First of all, if you ever lose your charger, please don't walk in the middle of the night, okay? Ask the concierge of a hotel room for a charger. They should probably have it. Second is that you can literally always trust life, because no matter where you are, like, life is gonna provide, God is gonna provide, and God is always watching over you. Because some things that I've been through, I really question, like, how am I still alive on this earth? You know, the fact that I still made it, the fact that I'm still here, it's because you're always guided, you're always protected, and there's always gonna be a way for you to make it. Because even though at that time I was actually like walking, and I didn't know where I'm walking, I didn't know how am I supposed to get to the store to get this charger, because again, I don't know why I didn't think to ask the hotel people. I was like, I don't know where I'm walking, because I didn't memorize the directions correctly. My phone is dead, I have a flight the next morning. There's always something that's gonna happen, that's gonna guide you, even if it's in the form of a crackhead often offering to drive your car, which, by the way, I feel like I got really lucky with this. Do not take my advice, please, ever, especially not with the stories I share. You can take my advice with the stuff I learned if you want to, but even so, like, some of the things I've done, like a lot of the experiences I've had, like the things I share with you in a lot of my videos are actually the results of a lot of the mistakes that I've made in life. And even though I might not be like an 80-year-old grandma, I feel like I'm an 80-year-old grandma in a 27-year-old body, forced to live Earth, which, by the way, I'm very thankful, as this like person. And so it's just funny to me, because like sometimes we live and we don't trust life. We think that, oh my God, I don't know how I will make it, there's no possible way for me to make it, like I'm screwed, right? Like at that time, because I couldn't think of a way to like ask the concierge for a charger, I could have literally been like, oh my God, I'm screwed, like I will never make it, I'm not gonna make my flight, because of course I need my phone. Like, how am I supposed to fly without my phone being dead? And the only option I knew was to go buy it, because maybe I had some hyper independence issues, I don't know. But so anyways, right? And I was like, how am I gonna make it? Or when I'm walking and I don't know the directions, and I was literally, the thing that I thought I memorized, the path was actually not the right path. So I don't know where I would have walked. I would not have ended up at the pharmacy that I was gonna go to. So at that time, I was like, I don't know how I'm going to make it. And we often go through this in life. We're questioning, like, how am I going to make it? What's the next thing? And we kind of like want to have everything figured out. We want to have all the answers. We want to have everything solved. And we want to have everything on a platter, silver platter for us, to where we can kind of say, okay, you know what? I have it all mapped out. But like, how boring would life be if we have all the answers all the time? Like, how boring would it be if you knew exactly everything that will happen tomorrow, exactly everything that will happen next week, exactly everything that will happen every single waking moment of your life? Like, that takes away from the experience of life. It takes away from the beauty of existence. It takes away from the fact that like you get to see the unfolding of your life, which, by the way, I know I'm like working on the same area of this painting a lot, but like that's just what I do, okay? It takes away from the excitement. It takes away from you experiencing the fullness and the unraveling of each individual moment, of each individual way in which you get to discover more of who you are, in which you discover more of life, in which you discover more of the beauty and yourself, and also the ways that you really are. Because ultimately, like, why are we here on earth? Like, we are on earth to have an experience, right? Like, we're all here, we have an experience, we are aware of things, and then we're gone. Like, that's it. That's all that there is to life. Ultimately, I know my eyebrows probably look ridiculous in this light, but like, that's it. That's all there is to life. We're here, we live, we have an experience, and then and then we're gone, right? And sometimes we don't think about this, especially if we're younger. We get so lost and we get so sidetracked in survival, right? Like we get so sidetracked in thinking that things matter, thinking that opinions of other people matter, thinking that, you know, how many likes or views we get actually makes a difference to like why. It does not. None of the things in life make a difference, okay? Because when you're in the middle of the night walking with no direction by yourself, did not have a pepper spray, and some crackhead pulls up to you and offers you to drive his car, like, you know what I mean? Again, do not take my advice, all right? You can just learn from the stupidity of some things that I have done in life. And again, a lot of the things that I share with you, like this quote unquote wisdom, is just the stuff that I learned. A lot of it I learned the hard way. And you know, there's so much like advice out there, and you can talk about it, you can teach it. I could even share with you like all the psychologists and all the philosophers and all the spiritual gurus, like they talk about all the spiritual knowledge and all the stuff that, you know, oh, this is how that works, and this is what if this happens, this is what we are awareness. But like ultimately none of that means anything unless you have a way to apply it experientially, right? Because the only thing that really matters is like, can you apply this experientially? Because having this knowledge in your brain doesn't really do you any good, because I've spent so long trying to have all this understanding and knowledge and growth like in here. It was all in here, okay? I watched a video after video after video after video, course after course after course. For what? Okay, I have all this knowledge in here, but it means nothing unless you know how to apply it, unless you know how to practically trust life, unless you take actions to trust life and to believe that a way exists. Like if you're given an opportunity, if you're given a problem, there is a way. There is a way for you to find a phone charger that you don't know the path to the store, and you don't know whom to ask because you're on your own and your time is tight and you only have half of the eyelashes on your face. Like there is a way for you to get there, and to get there safely, and to be carried by God or universe or creator, whatever you want to call it, all right? Like I'm not gonna be stuck trying to name it. Not that it even has a name, it's just a presence. But like there is a way for you to do that. It's just about trusting that. And also the funny thing is, paradoxically, when you actually believe that a way exists, a way unfolds. You know, like Einstein says, you cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it, because if you're thinking from the same level of consciousness with which you created a problem, you're going to be stuck in that same cycle. You're going to be stuck in the same rut. But if you can break yourself out of that, if you can shift your consciousness to a new state, and you can learn to believe that there is a way, there is a solution, you will actually learn to see that usually that's all it takes for you to be able to be a match to that solution, for you to be able to be a match to that reality in which the problem no longer exists, and in which you are guided step by step, not all at once, okay? It's not about seeing that you're gonna be okay or you'll make it because you know how. It's simply knowing that you will make it, knowing that you are already safe and everything is already done, because time doesn't even exist, which by the way, one of you said that, so thank you for that. Your comment is in the video. Not that time even exists or it's real, it's just our perception and experience of it, right? So it's just understanding that in the time as it all is, it's all already done. You have already made it. The way has already unfolded. You're just experiencing the unfoldment of it. So if you can get yourself to that place of safety internally, to where you know that, oh yeah, I've already made it, I am safe, this life is actually already over. I am just having this experience of seeing how it will unfold. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, painting. Of seeing how it's gonna unfold, of seeing how I'm gonna get there, of seeing how I'm gonna make it out of this perceived challenge, which sometimes it's not even a challenge. It can actually be a great opportunity, right? It can be opportunity for growth. It can be opportunity for deepened levels of trust and love, and maybe sometimes it's just an arrow pointing you in another direction and you don't know what's on the other side, but it's just like, it's about knowing that you're just experiencing those individual fragments of life being presented to you, and that's all that there really is, right? I know this is probably a very boring paint with me video, but like that's just how that works. Okay, I'll take 1 hour and like I'll work on this thing right here for a solid hour, and that's all you're gonna see me tracing the same lines for like an hour. Okay, that's just like what I do. But anyways, which is why it takes me so long. But anyways, one of you asked, so whoever asked, here you go, okay? It's not that fun. It's fun for me, okay, because I get lost in time and I can paint for hours and forget about it. But yeah, so it's all about applying it practically. And when you are in that moment, just knowing that the problem is already solved. It's not really a problem, it's just an opportunity for you to experience the unfoldment of whatever it is that you are in the middle of, because it's all it is literally experience and lessons and unfolding of discovering greater levels of yourself, greater levels of existence. And truly, I believe that's what we're here for. We're here to learn and grow and not necessarily get anywhere, because there really is nowhere to get to. You know, whatever you're trying to get to, there's kind of nowhere to get to, okay? We get where we think we want to get and we realize that's not it, because there is no it. It's just like, can you really be present enough, and can you really see that the experience in this moment is all you have, okay? And when you get whatever you're trying to get, it's still gonna be you. You're not gonna change, and if you don't change, your internal state is not gonna change. So the whole point is just like, I went off on a tangent, but that's just what happens, okay? The whole point is that, like, can you really learn to trust that the problem is already solved? The God has a plan for you, even if you don't see the full picture, okay? Can you trust that there is a way? There is gonna be someone that's gonna randomly pull up to you, even if it looks like a black dude who just literally sat, he's like sat in the passenger seat. Like, I looked over and he's like, do you wanna ride? I'm like, no thanks. He goes, are you sure I will let you drive? I mean, how weird is that? Like, that has only happened to me once. And you know what went through my brain? I was like, I have a license, I can drive. Right? And I've just driven so many rental cars at that time. I mean, now I have my own car, but back then I did not have my own car. I was just getting rentals. So I was like, I've driven plenty of rentals. I have a license, I guess I can drive, right? Like, but you know, point is, I made some mistakes. I have done some things, but you know what? It makes for a fun story. And it makes for a good learning too, because it just shows like the degree to which you cannot fail or do anything stupid, because God's gonna protect you. Like, literally, you're always protected. Because sometimes I feel like, had it been anyone else in my shoes, things would not have ended well. But because I was me and he thought I was cute, I think it's because he was seeing like the part of me with the lash extensions, not the other part of me, but how he didn't see the fact that half my face had makeup, the other side did not. I don't know. Okay, it was dark, okay? It was dark. Maybe he didn't care. He just wanted to sell me whatever he was smoking. That's probably what it is. But you know what? I didn't see it in the moment. I was so like oblivious and naive to that in the moment that it didn't matter to me, because the way I looked at it was like, okay, I have to get somewhere. God is providing me a way. Someone wants to drive. Cool, you know? Again, please do not drive with strangers, okay? Unless your intuition absolutely tells you to, because that's another thing, right? I think the way you know what to do, the way you know which path to take, is just because God tells you. I'm gonna say God, but like universe, whatever, intelligence, it tells you through your feelings. It tells you through your intuition. It tells you through whatever feels correct. It's a feeling of knowing, and you have to get to know this feeling. You have to get to know how universe communicates to you, because that is your only guide. You know, like, we cannot really, like, I'm realizing this recently, that no one outside is going to give you the answers that you're seeking. Like, there's no one person on the outside that's ever going to magically pop up and be like, oh, that's the answer. Like, it's never going to happen. No one outside is ever going to, you can hear my neighbors walking. No one's ever gonna like come up and tell you what to do. They're not gonna give you the answers. And even if they do, you know what? They're not gonna be your answers. They're gonna be the answers of another person. I'm like, do you really wanna live life answering to someone else and letting someone else take responsibility for your life? I don't know about you, but I'm kind of done doing that. So like, that's why your real answers are inside. It's not about looking for it on the outside, or you can ask the universe for signs, but ultimately the true sign is here. It's in your heart. I cannot point to my stomach, but like, it's in your gut, it's in your heart, and that's really what guides you in life, and that tells you what is safe and what is not safe. And if you don't feel like something is safe, probably isn't. And if you feel like something is safe, regardless of how it looks on the outside, then it is. Because sometimes appearances are misleading, right? Some people, they look very innocent and very kind, but they're actual snakes on the inside. Nothing against snakes, by the way, I love snakes. And some people, they look like they're like evil or cruel, but they're beautiful human beings, okay? And so sometimes appearances are misleading in life, with people, with everything. And by the way, when I paint, I go off on rants, so this is a long video. Should be sorry. Should I say be sorry? I don't know. I was gonna say I'm sorry, but you know, yeah. So that's your only true compass, okay? It's on the inside, and if you can learn to follow that and trust your compass, because you understand that you are extension of whatever is guiding you, and that's within you. So once you can learn to trust that and know, really know that that is going to keep you safe, that is going to keep you guided, and you will make it because you have already made it. It's all already done, okay? You're already safe. You're just experiencing the step by step, and the feeling inside of you, inside of your heart, is what will tell you which way to go, which way to turn to have the best experience. So listen to that, listen to your inner guide, okay? That's the whole point of this video. I just wanted to share this story because at some point I was blogging all the crazy things that I have done, okay? I have like, it could be a book, there's a lot of stuff, and this is one that kept kind of, it stood out to me, and I just wanted to talk about it. I don't really know why I wanted to talk about it. This is technically a second video that I'm making today, but I just wanted to share it because, again, I think I don't really want to talk about my traumas anymore, and I've made so much self-development content on my other channels. I've had multiple channels, and I think I just feel like I don't really want to tell you what to do. I just want to share with you what is helpful, what I've learned, and hopefully, you know, you can reflect and it can give you insights and perspective, and also just a reference point to the things that happen in life, to the things that I've learned and done, and hopefully you can take that and just make your own assumptions, make your own conclusions, have your own lessons, and live vicariously to some of the stupid things that I have done. So hopefully you don't ever have to end up driving a random crackhead's car in the middle of a night who calls you a grandma because you're driving slow, because I was driving carefully, and then, you know, asks for your Facebook because he thinks you're cute with half the makeup on your face, because, you know, I probably just wanted to sell me whatever he's smoking, but he seemed genuine. Like, why would he call me cute? Unless he thought that. I mean, I don't know, whatever. Who cares, right? Point is, thank you for watching this video. I will now go back to painting, okay? Which, by the way, if you can note, I have made very little progress on this painting in the last 20 minutes. There is one more there. There's like 2 there, actually, but those are finished. Well, basically finished. They're like mostly finished. So that's the view into my life a little bit. With that said, if you're still here, sending you lots of love. Thank you so much for existing on Earth as a human that you are. And I love you, and I'll see you in the next one. What will be next? I don't know. We'll see what God wants me to create, okay? Because that's how I roll. I just go and I listen what universe wants me to do, and that's what I do. So if you have any suggestions, comments are always open for that. I always love hearing your comments and stories and suggestions and thoughts on things. Other than that, lots of love, and I'll see you in the next one.